Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're having a wonderful day. Out of breath, exhausted. That is me right now. It wouldn't be a Pink first listen video if I wasn't already exhausted. I am continuing with my Pink discography journey, and we made it to her 5th studio album from 2008 called Funhouse. Now, I will say there are a few songs on this album that are very nostalgic for me because 2008 was the year I graduated high school, and I remember a few of these songs played on the radio at my high school graduation. Just happy times. I remember actually having a list when I was a teenager, a list of albums I wanted to buy. And I would always update it every month or every couple months to include new releases. And this album, I believe at one point was on that list, but I never got around to buying it. But I am looking at the track list. I'm listening to the deluxe edition of the album. So there are 14 tracks, and the only tracks I recall hearing is track number 1, So What, track number 2, Sober, and track number 5, Please Don't Leave Me, and track number 7, Funhouse. All the other tracks are brand new to me, but like always, if I start listening to a song and it sounds familiar, I'll let you guys know. We already listened to So What, and like I already told you, and this song is so nostalgic for me, and I mean, you saw for yourself. Do I need to actually explain how I feel when I listen to the song? It's just such an energizing song, and I love how full-blown rock it is. I've been following Pink since the start of her discography, on this discography journey, and she started off with a more R&B sound with her first album, and then she progressed into rock, pop rock, and now she's continuing the trend with pop rock, I imagine. This song in particular, I mean, this is one of the most rock-sounding Pink songs that I've listened to thus far. And when the music video was released, I do remember this song being about her separation from motocross racer Carrie Hart, which occurred 6 months prior to the release. And this song did reach number 1 on the Hot 100. I remember that all too well because when I was in high school, I was obsessed with the Billboard charts. Every week, I would check the charts to see who was number 1 and who was in the top 10. I was religiously obsessed with the Billboard charts. I remember being at school and in the computer lab, and when I was supposed to be working on my project, I would always sneak onto the internet and look at the Billboard charts to see who was number 1 that week. The song is so anthem-like and so badass with attitude, and that's also why I like it so much. I'm still a rock star, I got my rock moves, and I don't need you, and guess what? I'm having more fun, and now that we're done, I'm gonna show you tonight I'm alright, I'm just fine, and you're a tool. So what? I am a rock star. She broke up with Carrie Hart, and she is confessing that she is still a rock star. She is happy as fuck, and she is moving on with her life. She does sound quite aggressive in the song, but that's also why I enjoy it so much. There is also a reference to Jessica Simpson. The waiter just took my table and gave it to Jessica Simpson, and Pink also, it's interesting. I mean, Pink and Jessica Simpson have a bit of a history when it comes to Pink's music, because I recall in Pink's music video for Stupid Girls, Pink parodied Jessica Simpson, her Boots Were Made for Walking music video. But anyway, now let's move on to track number 2, Sober. I don't wanna be the girl that laughs the loudest. Okay, and that was track number 2, Sober, and this is such a moody and a haunted song. I remember hearing it all over the radio back in the day, 2008, just like So What. And I remember not being the biggest fan of this single. I did like it. I liked listening to it, but it was never one of my favorite Pink singles. But it's still a great song, and I really like the lyrics. I'm safe up high, nothing can touch me, but why do I feel this party's over? No pain inside, you're like perfection, but how do I feel this good sober? I was also kind of coming out of my dark emo phase. In high school, I was listening to a lot of I don't know, I was listening to a lot of My Chemical Romance, Green Day, Evanescence, Eminem, and I was in a dark place kind of, and I think in 2008, that was the beginning stages of me kind of moving out of that phase and towards more upbeat, fun pop music. I mean, 2008 was the year of the circus. It was the year of circus-themed music and albums like Pink's Funhouse, the album artwork, and Britney Spears also dropped her album Circus that year. And also, Cara Diaguardi was a co-writer on the song, and I remember her all too well because I was first introduced to her when I watched American Idol in 2009, 2010, the 8 and 9 seasons. I was obsessed with American Idol back in the day, and she was a judge on the show during the 8th and 9th seasons. So during this time, I do recall seeing a lot of songs co-written by her. But anyway, now let's move on to track number 3, I Don't Believe You.
I don't mind it, the way we fight, the times I cry. No, I don't believe you. It's like one of those bad dreams when you can't wake up, right? You said we wouldn't be apart, 'cause I still don't mind it. I don't believe you.
Okay, and that was track number 3, I Don't Believe You, and this was such an emotional song to listen to, just as somber as track number 2, Sober. And it's sad. I imagine the song is about Carrie Hart, her ex, just like track number 1. I imagine quite a few of these songs will be about the breakup. It's like you're the swing set and I'm the kid that falls. It's like the way we fight, the times I cry, we come to blows, and every night the passion's there. So it's gotta be right. No, I don't believe you when you say, don't come around here no more. One thing I love about Pink's discography is a lot of her songs are very personal, and she co-writes quite a few of her songs. Most of her songs, I noticed. So when I start listening to a Pink album, it's like I'm taking a peek into her life. And also, Max Martin co-wrote the song along with Pink, and he also co-wrote So What. So now let's move on to track number 4, 1 Foot Wrong.
Am I sweating? Or are these tears on my face? 1 foot wrong, I'm on a fall. Somebody gets it, somebody gets it. From 1 foot wrong, who's gonna find me? Who's gonna find me? Just 1 foot wrong, you'll have to love me when I'm gone. Lucky me, I guess I'm the chosen one. 1 foot wrong, you'll have to love me when I'm gone. Love me when I'm gone. Have to love me when I'm gone.
Okay, and that was track number 4, 1 Foot Wrong. This is another, it's another slower, somber, lower tempo song. Does anyone see me? Lucky me, I guess I'm the chosen one. Color and Madness. And then she also says, first in line, I put my money down. Some freedom is the tiniest cell in town. After listening to the first 4 tracks on this album, she does seem to be in a dark, miserable place right now. And I will also say, after listening to the first 4 tracks on this album, I don't know how I'm feeling about it. It's not because the songs are moody. I mean, I've listened to a lot of moody, sad, depressing Pink songs on this discography journey, but these last 3 tracks haven't really been resonating with me. I loved track number 1, So What. I did like track number 2, Sober. Track number 3 I enjoyed, but track number 4, I don't know if track number 4 would be a song I would go back to. I don't know, if I was going through a breakup or if I was going through a really tough time in my life, I would listen to this album, but I don't know, it's not really sticky to me yet. I don't think the songs on this album are as memorable as her other albums. I'm Not Dead was a fantastic album, and that was the album before this one. But honestly, we still have 10 more tracks left, so we're just gonna continue on. So now let's move on to track number 5, Please Don't Leave Me. Okay, and that was track number 5, Please Don't Leave Me. This is such a great song. Definitely one of my favorite tracks on the album. And I remember listening to this song a lot back in 2008 and 2009. Pink always has such great ballads and slower songs and lower tempo songs on all her albums. And I always enjoy listening to them just as much as the more upbeat and up-tempo songs. I am curious to know in this relationship with Carrie Hart, I'm curious to know, I don't know, was the breakup mutual? Did she leave him? Or, I mean, I imagine he left her because she said, please don't leave me. She's literally pleading to this person. I always say how I don't need you, but it's always gonna come right back to this. I forgot to say out loud how beautiful you really are to me. I can't be without. You're my perfect little punching bag, and I need you. I'm sorry. Baby, please don't leave me. So she's saying that she's sorry. She doesn't need to be so nasty to him. I can cut you into pieces. She doesn't know why she's become this nasty. How did I become so obnoxious? What is it with you that makes me act like this? So the way he's acting, it's just bringing out the nastiness in her, and she doesn't know why. She doesn't know what it is that he does that makes her act this way. There are a lot of people out there who are like that, who, when their heart is broken, when someone does something to them, they retaliate by saying something nasty to that person and saying horrible things and just being toxic, and that's not really who they are. It's just they want to make that person feel like shit just as much as that person makes them feel like shit. So I'm kind of doing a bit of research here, and it says that Pink and Carrie Hart married in 2006, and then it says present. So did they get back together? It says they've been together for 14 years. I thought they broke up and they never got back together. In 2018, they celebrated their 12th anniversary, and in an Instagram post, she said, 12 years married today, 16 if you count the 4 years we spent deciding if we were going to live together forever or kill each other. It does say that the duo previously took some time apart, but eventually found their way back to each other and are now parents of daughter Willow and son Jameson. And it looks like they first started dating in 2001 after meeting at the Summer X Games. The couple reunited and eventually got engaged in 2005. They got married in Costa Rica in 2006. And then in 2008, when this album Funhouse was released, the pair separated 2 years after their wedding. Pink shared the news on her website at the time, writing, "The most important thing for you all to know is that Carrie and I love each other so much. This breakup is not about cheating, anger, or fighting. I know it sounds like cliche bullshit, but we are best friends and we will continue to be." And in 2008, she called her song So What a vomiting of truths. And I also remember Carrie Hart being in the music video for So What. And I was very confused because the song was about Carrie Hart, but he was in the music video, but she broke up with him, so why was he in the music video? So at the time, I was just very confused. So it looks like everything worked out for them. I'm glad I looked that up because I had no idea. So it looks like the breakup wasn't as traumatizing as I initially made it out to be. They were still best friends, but they were just arguing and they just weren't seen eye to eye and they were just getting frustrated. I don't know the reason behind the actual breakup. I'm not a therapist. I know nothing about Pink and Carrie Hart, so I'm just kind of interpreting the lyrics the best I can. But she does say, "Please don't leave me," and he did for a little bit, but not for long, and they got back together, so it has a happy ending. So now let's move on to track number 6, Bad Influence.
Sure, I'll have another one, it's early. 3 olives, shake it up, I like it dirty. I'm the instigator of underwear, showing up here and there.
The instigator of underwear. Well, okay, and that was track number 6, A Bad Influence, and I always enjoy listening to Pink songs like this. They're always a joy to read. I love the lyrics, they're always funny, and they always make me laugh and put a smile on my face. She obviously doesn't take herself too seriously. There are times, a lot of times actually, where she's very vulnerable in her songs. But she also likes to play around and have fun, and it's like a fun house. I can't help it, I like to party, it's genetic, it's electrifying, wind me up and watch me go, where she stops, nobody knows. A good excuse to be a bad influence on you, and you, and you, and you. Pink has always been a bad girl, rebellious. She doesn't conform to what everyone else is doing. She's not your typical good girl pop star. And this was something I picked up very early on in my Pink discography journey. There are a lot of people who like to boast that they're a badass and they try to come across as tough. We've all come across those people, but I think Pink is she's genuinely a bad girl. So now let's move on to track number 7, Funhouse.
I dance around this empty house, tear us down, throw you out, fall. Just flaming up the past, your taunting smirk behind the glass. Once a tickle, no rash. Gonna burn it down, down, down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I've called the movers, called the maids, we'll try to exercise this place. I'm gonna burn it down, down, down. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This used to be a fun house, but now it's full of evil clowns. Down, down.
Okay, and that was track number 7, Funhouse. I always have so much fun listening to this song. I remember being, I don't know, 18 or 19 years old, and whenever I was left alone in my parents' house, I would put on this song and I would just randomly dance around my dining room table. This song and If You Seek Amy by Britney Spears from her Circus album that was released the same year. Those two songs, I don't know what it was, but Funhouse and If You Seek Amy, I would just randomly dance around my dining room table and just act like a fool. I personally think this is one of Pink's most goofiest songs, and It's just always fun to listen to. You just saw it for yourself. It's definitely the production. The production is very Funhouse and circus-like, and it's just goofy and a lot of fun. This used to be a Funhouse, but now it's full of evil clouds. It's time to start the countdown. I'm gonna burn it down, down, down. Pink, you are not an arsonist. You do not burn houses down. Unless the house is full of clouds, then yes, I do condone burning down a house if it's full of clouds, because clouds are... they're scary. Especially if it's Ronald McDonald. Wow. This video's getting pretty dark. But clouds are dark. Honestly, they're evil. Clouds are evil. They are... I'm just having images in my head of clouds and their smiles, and... I don't think clouds have ever bothered me as a kid, but I've seen quite a few movies where they're portrayed as serial killers and psychopaths, and they'll just fuck you up. But anyway, we will now move on to track number 8, Crystal Ball.
I'm drinking wine and thinking bliss is on the other side of this. $1 million in the fountain of a hotel. Fortune teller that says maybe you won't go to hell. The cracks in the crystal ball. I'm not scared at all. Cracks in the crystal ball.
Okay, and that was track number 8, Crystal Ball, and this was a very beautiful song. Whenever Pink brings out the acoustic guitar in one of her songs, I always love it. This song kind of reminded me of Dear Mr. President. I do think Crystal Ball might be one of my favorite tracks on the album. Whenever she does pull out the acoustic guitar in one of these songs, she always sounds so vulnerable, and it's always nice to hear, and I don't know, I just like these sorts of songs. We will now move on to track number 9, Mean.
Stay together 'cause we're scared to be alone. How do we get so mean? How do we just move on? I just can't wake up on the floor like a thousand times before. Knowing that forever will be.
Okay, and that was track number 9, Mean. This was another really good song. I'm loving this middle part of the album. In my opinion, the first part of this album is very commercial sounding. It's more mainstream, whereas this middle part isn't as commercial. I feel like these are songs you wouldn't necessarily hear or see on the Billboard charts, but I'm preferring the middle part. And we are continuing the main theme of the album, which is the breakup. And she's saying, you used to hold the door for me, now you can't wait to leave. You used to send me flowers. If you fucked up in my dreams, I used to make you laugh with all the silly shit I did. So their relationship isn't what it used to be. They aren't as nice to each other as they used to be. How did we get so mean? How do we just move on? There is a lot of questioning on this album. Just a very complicated relationship, because I imagine they do obviously love each other, and they want to continue being in a relationship, but it's just not working out for whatever reason. She's pleading to him, please don't leave me. You know, why are we so mean to each other? We love each other. Why are we doing this to each other? Why do we feel this way? I'm really happy that they did end up working it out, and they're still together to this day. So now let's move on to track number 10, It's All Your Fault. Okay, and that was track number 10. It's All Your Fault. This was a great song. I was rocking out to it. I loved the production. It was full of energy. And this kind of sounds like You in Your Hand from her prior album, I'm Not Dead. I would never pull the trigger, but I've cried wolf 1,000 times. I wish you could feel as bad as I do. I have lost my mind. It's all your fault. You called me beautiful. You turned me out. And now I can't turn back. So it's all this person's fault. It's their fault that they called her beautiful and they turned her out. And now she can't turn back. I tried to figure out what else to say. What else could I say to make you turn around and come back this way? When you just come back this way, I feel like we could be really awesome together. So make up your mind, because it's now or never. It's all your fault. So again, she's wanting this person to come back. I imagine it's Carrie Hart. And just like track number 5, Please Don't Leave Me, she's pleading for this person to come back. What else could I say to make you turn around and come back this way? I feel like we could be really awesome together. So this does cement the idea that she still loves him. She still wants him in her life, but he is drifting away from her, yet she is calling for him to come back into her life. So now we will move on to track number 11, Ave Mary A.
I can't help thinking that we lost the plot. Suicide bomber and a student shot. Tokyo, I think we got a problem.
Okay, and that was track number 11, Ave Mary A. And this was another really, really, really good song. And I don't know who this Ave Mary A is, so I kind of had to look into it. So it does say Ave Mary is a salutation and prayer to the Virgin Mary as Mother of God, used in the Roman Catholic Church. Which I obviously know who the Virgin Mary is. I did grow up Catholic. And I had a small idea that it could have referenced the Virgin Mary, but I wasn't sure, so I had to look it up. And it is a salutation and prayer to the Virgin Mary. The song is really interesting. She does say, "We hate so fast and we love too slow. London, I think we got a problem." And then she also says further down in the song, "Suicide bomber and a student shot. Tokyo, I think we got a problem. If they don't kill you, then the side effects will. If we don't kill each other, then the side effects will. Cape Town, I think we got a problem. If the darkest hour comes before the light, where is the light? Ave Mary A, where did you go?" So this does appear to be a political song with social commentary. I personally feel like this is one of the strongest songs on the album, and I am absolutely loving the second half of the album. I did like the first half. Obviously, we have the hit singles So What and Sober and Please Don't Leave Me, but like I said already, it's more commercial. Whereas I feel like this second part of the album is more traditional Pink. So Ave Mary A is one of my favorite tracks on the album. So now let's move on to track number 12, Glitter in the Air.
Have you ever fed a lover with just your hand? Have you ever thrown a fistful of glitter in the air? It's only half past the point of no return. Have you ever felt this way? Have you ever been touched so gently you had to cry? Have you ever wished for an endless night?
Wow, we are just continuing. I was gonna say the bop train, but These are better than bops, honestly. These are just great classic songs. Another one of my favorite tracks on the album, Glitter in the Air. I might even go as far as say that this is perhaps even the best song on the album. I think I'm just gonna leave it at that. Beautiful, timeless, emotional, captivating, and wonderful. So now let's move on to track number 13, Why Did I Ever Like You? Okay, and that was track number 13, Why Did I Ever Like You? And this song is pretty self-explanatory. I liked it. I will say though, I am getting a little tired of the breakup theme and why did I ever like you and why am I so mean to you and just the whole breakup in general. It just gets a little, I don't want to say it gets old, but it just gets very repetitive, and I just wish she would talk about other subjects and topics on this album than the breakup. And she does briefly touch on other things as well. I imagine she let out a lot of aggression when she was recording this album, and it was, I imagine, great therapy for her. But we have come to the end of the album. Track number 14, Could Have Had Everything.
Heaven's sake, everyone standing in my way, ruining all my fun. You see, I'm doing it for my sake. It hurts me when you go. I hear the way you're thinking. I could so easily have had it all. Could have had everything. I should have had everything. You almost got me thinking. Screwing myself over. It's perfect life I'm in. Screwing myself over. I could have had everything. I should have had everything. To thinking I had something. Could have had everything. I should have had everything.
Okay, that was the final track of the album, track number 14, Could Have Had Everything, and I'm kind of ready for this album to end now, which it has ended. It's the final track, and this is probably my least favorite track on the album. I didn't care for it at all. You can definitely tell that these last two tracks were deluxe edition tracks. This is the deluxe version of Funhouse, and the regular edition did end with Glitter in the Air, and I didn't really care for these last two tracks, Why Did I Ever Like You and Could Have Had Everything. But there's also more editions of this album. There's the international bonus track, so there's also a song, This Is How It Goes, featuring Travis McCoy, and there's also the UK and Japan bonus tracks, Boring, and there is also Why Did I Ever Like You, Could Have Had Everything, which is what we listened to. So technically, I could listen to a Boring and This Is How It Goes, but I'm really tired. I think I would have checked them out if I enjoyed track number 13 and 14, Why Did I Ever Like You, Could Have Had Everything, but I didn't really care for them. I don't really feel like continuing with the other bonus tracks. So that is all 14 tracks of Funhouse, the deluxe edition, and I enjoyed this album. It's a solid album from Pink. It's just not one of my favorites. I definitely prefer the second half of the album to the first half. The first half does have So What and Sober and Please Don't Leave Me, so it has the commercial songs, the songs you'd hear on the radio, the songs for the Billboard charts. But the second half, I feel like, is more traditional Pink. The first half is more mainstream, and I like the second half a lot more, so when I do revisit this album, I will listen to the second half more than the first half. In general, I just feel like the second half is a lot stronger. I don't think this is one of her strongest albums, but it's still a great, solid album from Pink. What I didn't like about the album was the constant theme of the breakup. It was very repetitive. It was a little exhausting, I won't lie. So I feel like if she played around with more themes and she sang about other things as well, then I think I might have enjoyed this album a bit more. So what did you guys think of the album? Where does this album rank on your Pink discography list? Would you rank it at the top, in the middle, near the bottom? So now that we're done Funhouse, we will be moving on to her next album, which is The Truth About Love from 2012. So this album was released 4 years after Funhouse. And this album is pretty long. I will be listening to the fan edition of the album, and that edition has 20 tracks. 20! 2-0. Oh my god. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. You can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Twitter, you can message me, you can tell me other artists I should check out, you can find me on Apple Music, you can check out my playlists, and so on and so forth. So once again, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care.